Toy Chat is not a children's channel. This video is intended for adult gift givers and collectors. Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sing.
And this is another episode of our Collector's Corner podcast where we discuss hot topics in the doll and toy industry involving some of our favorite brands. In the last episode of our podcast, we briefly mentioned the Ryan Gosling as Ken reveal for the Barbie movie, and many of you commented that you wanted to hear our thoughts on that. We also have gotten a lot of comments and DMs that you guys wanted to hear our thoughts on the, updates on the Monster High reveals and the Monster High movie. So today, in this discussion, we're going to be covering the full spectrum of live action movie reveals with a focus on the casting of the characters for the two major Mattel properties that are going to be getting movies in the near future. So the first half of this conversation is going to be dedicated to the Monster High movie, and we're going to be talking about all the recent photo and character casting reveals for that. And then the latter half is going to be the Barbie movie and what we know so far about that, which is much less than what we know about the Monster High movie. So jumping straight in, obviously, in a prior conversation, many of you likely already know, it was announced quite a while ago, of course, that there was going to be a major comeback of the Monster High brand and property from Mattel within this year. And the movie is rapidly approaching. They've already dropped the first main trailer, and now we have photos of several of the characters. So I'm going to give a quick preface that Sang and I are basing these first impressions and our thoughts pretty much exclusively on what has been officially announced and published to social media. We have not done any sort of deep dive into rumors or speculation about plot or how these characters will be presented or anything along those lines. We're just basing it off of, what has been directly shown by the brand firsthand. So the Monster High movie is going to be coming out this coming fall on Nickelodeon, and seems like you'll be able to stream it on Paramount Plus. And recently they shared a variety of images of the characters. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get started with that. We'll dive straight into that, and we'll just go in the order of the image carousel on Instagram. So the very first character revealed is Bloodgood, wasn't it? Headmistress Bloodgood. Yeah. The head of the school. What do we think?
I really like that they race bent her. I know she was much more of a white character originally for the doll and the character. I never opened her. I have her, but I never opened her.
Her inbox.
But
she was so common for a while.
She was. Yeah, she was.
Felt like she wasn't selling that great.
Yeah, I remember getting her for a deal at Target.
Yeah.
Not Target, sorry. Toys R Us.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I do like how she looks. She's very accurate to the original. It's just the magenta outfit, and yeah, I wonder if her horse will make an appearance. I'm sure it won't.
Yeah. Yes. And wasn't her horse
purple?
Purple, yeah. So
purple.
I'm curious if they'll keep like a fantasy colored horse. Yeah, I definitely think the thing that struck out to me about the Bloodgood casting and how she looks is this outfit, I think, is the most accurate to the original doll release out of all of these characters revealed. Yeah, Bloodgood is the most accurate to the original doll release. I think she looks great. I think, very accurate to character. I don't remember if the Bloodgood doll, did she have kind of like a ghoulish skin tone? Like,
no, she was
just like fair skinned, like human skin. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she looks cool. I'm also really curious. I mean, of course, with a movie like this, obviously you can't get too gruesome, but it does look like there's a bit of like detailing of like where her head is off there. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting what the visual of that is in the movie and how, edgy or spooky this movie is going to be willing to get. But yeah, we'll move on from her. And okay, this character reveal I think is going to end up being one of the biggest conversation starters is Laguna. Let's talk about Laguna.
Yeah, Laguna honestly doesn't remind me too much of the character. that we've known and loved. Definitely there's some elements that does remind us a bit of like a sea creature, like her, I guess her shorts have that scale, and she looks like she has some like seashells on her necklace. But besides that, she looks pretty like, I thought she would, like honestly, if you showed me her, I thought she might be, I would think she might be like a unicorn themed girl.
This is giving me much more mermaid than sea monster.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a lot more mermaid. Yeah, I think she looks gorgeous. I think the actress looks beautiful. I really like the colors, but it is it's quite a 180 from the original portrayal of Laguna, who of course was originally a very sporty character. And yeah, this is not giving sporty to me. This is giving very elegant, girly. Not to say you can't be both those things and sporty, but yeah. I mean, maybe sort of, because is this like a jersey top?
Yeah,
kind
I mean,
of, and
it
shorts.
is kind of sportsy, but
so a bit, yeah.
I mean, for what's worth, I think the actress is giving her all. I think the posing and just she's voguing beautifully here. So I think that aspect of it might be really nice and really cool. But yeah, it's just, she's more colorful, more rainbow than I was expecting.
Yes.
Plus, I think some people have issue that she's not blue.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, but I think maybe that might have been like a color conflict with Frankie, who they made blue here.
That's true. I think that's what makes me think more mermaid. Yeah. As well, is the fact that, I mean, she has fins. We can see, the fins on her legs.
Yeah, I mean, there's some aspects on here that does remind us of like, sea creature.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, she'd probably be a very easy character to cosplay as.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of people saying Laguna was like their favorite reveal. Some people were saying, oh, she's like super different. Yeah, let us know. We're curious what you guys think of her. So moving on to Deuce Gorgon. The really interesting thing about how Deuce looks is I feel like they styled him extremely hipster here. As where I feel like the original version of Deuce, he was just like cool kid on campus. Like very like shades, tank tops. This dude is like layers, glasses.
Well, I mean, you have to keep in mind, this is like another generation. I mean, I think maybe in the past, kind of like that edgy, what do you say, like punk kid might have been cool, but maybe hipster is the cool boy thing.
And he has a little snaky. He has a little snake. If you like zoom in on the picture. Oh, so is he?
Given the plot, it seems like they're hiding their monster aspect at the school. So maybe he does have Medusa hair that he hides under his beanie, and he has like a bit of a normal.
Well, we can see he has normal hair.
Yeah, but maybe
underneath he has like his mother Medusa, he would have the little snakes coming out of his head.
But yeah, I mean, another thing is he has glasses rather than sunglasses, because I think his eyes was supposed to like.
But that's the thing, if you have regular glasses, you're not like.
Yeah, that's my point.
They aren't tinted, so it doesn't like block anything. Because technically the whole thing that you're trying to avoid, I would assume with Medusa, it's not the same as like Cyclops, where it's like beams coming out of your eyes. It's like you're trying to avoid eye contact specifically. That's what causes the stone. But if they're wearing, clear prescription glasses, you can just see right through it. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a different approach to the original Deuce, but in a similar vein. And we'll move right on to Draculaura.
Who has the most changes, I feel like.
Well, yes, in terms of the character, yes. Yeah. But this was one of the first ones we saw in the trailer.
I mean, costume-wise, it's very much Draculaura's aesthetic. But the changes where they made her into a witch, and the fact that they also race-bent her as well, I think.
I guess, we were left with nothing but just knowledge that she's Transylvanian, pretty much. In the original, and her skin was like pink. Yeah, pinkish, but...
Yeah, and she did have a monster exchange to Japan.
Did they paint her skin?
Yeah, she's
pink.
pink. She's pink.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unwrap. So first things first. How do we feel that she is a witch now?
You know, I was like indifferent to that. I mean, maybe we'll have kind of a brief summarized final thoughts like at the end of this of the whole package, but just how she looks overall. I think she looks very cute. I think it's, you know, it works. I think the whole thing with making her a witch and just the general vibe this gives off, you know, I don't know if Draculaura in that aspect then might be a bit more of like a mysterious kind of sneaky character as opposed to the original iteration.
It seems like they gave a character who already has a lot going on, more things.
Yes.
I think having a witch would be nice, but yeah, Dracula already has a lot going on with her character. You know, if it fits into the plot, then yeah, I'm all for it. But yeah, it just felt like something they tacked on just to have more magical elements.
Yes, and also I do really appreciate they included her little heart on her cheek. The outfit she's wearing seems a little bit reminiscent of reboot Draculaura with the puff sleeves and that, so kind of interesting, you know, potential nod to that. So up next is Clawdeen. I think this is one of the strongest casting and styling of the characters overall in terms of, I think, like preserving the integrity of the original. Clawdeen wore fashion pieces that like looked exactly like this, like, and actually, you know, she has some fur that's very similar in the Haute Couture release. And I could be wrong, but I do feel like there was a Clawdeen Wolf doll that had a crescent moon top or jacket, something very similar to this. I know crescent moons were very common in her motif in general. Yeah, it's been a minute since our Monster High collecting days, but
I do like that there's purple in her hair. I'm just kind of sad they covered up all the shoes, but yeah, there's like leopard print on her shoes as well. It looks like boots.
Oh, that's true. And I wonder, you know, Monster High is all about the shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious if they're going to be giving these characters very detailed shoes. But I think overall, this actress is definitely giving Clawdeen. I think
and I love her eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Oh, and her eyes are really pretty. Yeah.
No, again, I think Clawdeen is one of the strongest in terms of just how she looks in the presentation. I think the casting looks great. She definitely looks like what the fans, you know, would perceive as Clawdeen Wolf. You know, she's the fashionista of the group. And so, yeah, I definitely think her outfit stands out as one of the strongest in these reveals. Clawdeen gets a yes from me. So Frankie, you know, it's really interesting that the personification or just kind of like who Frankie is as a character has evolved a lot, you know, especially between like the original series and then the reboot, where in the original series, she was very much the new girl, like trying to fit in. And then she, I think, became a much more kind of like confident, assertive character, you know, in the reboot. I don't love everything about the styling, how the live action adaptation of her is. I think bits and pieces of it are very, you know, very faithful. She has the tie, she has the signature earrings. I don't completely know how I feel about the tights, or if like those, you know, the pre-ripped tights really like pair with the rest of her outfit. But I don't know if I have super strong feelings one way or another on Frankie.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main three, they're pretty accurate to their counterparts, their doll counterparts, or like the original counterpart. Yeah, but definitely Frankie's probably the most simple of the three. But yeah, you know, Frankie's always been about that kind of like, I want to say kind of like schoolgirl, kind of straight lace. Yeah, straight lace look. Yeah, which is fine. And you can't make out her shoes, but she has like really high platform shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I think the actress here really showcased kind of like that Frankenstein kind of like pose. I would have to see more. Again, we're going off of that really short trailer.
Yeah.
And these images, and I think she looks fine. It's just, like Max said, the tights kind of matches the rest of her, so it kind of blends all together. But, I think maybe there weren't a huge budget to show that she's made up of different parts, maybe. They decided to cover her all up.
Yeah, I'm curious if we're going to see if those long sleeves are going to stay on for the whole movie, or if we'll see any of like stitching or anything like that on her body.
And I think she's missing her bolts as well on her neck. Well, you can definitely see.
I can't really tell.
You can see stitching at her neck, and then there's some stitching on her cheek. But beyond that, there's some on her arms. Yeah, they're pretty much covered up. So yeah. But there are some stitchings, which is nice. But yeah, let's just move on because that's all I can say about her.
Yeah.
Next one, another one that we kind of have to dive into. There's been a huge discussion about her too.
Cleo de Nile, who we only got like a really brief glimpse at in the trailer, but we have a picture.
This is definitely Cleo, how Cleo looks later on in like the era of Monster High, where her color scheme kind of switched to like gold and blue.
It's a lot of blue.
Yes.
She's very blue.
Yeah. I remember, what was that line where like they were growing plants? Yeah, what was that?
Doom and Bloom?
Oh, yeah.
Doom and Bloom.
Yes,
I think Doom and Bloom.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that aesthetic. Because she evolved into this blue and yellow aesthetic, and it looks here like it's kind of that. And you definitely tell like the wrapping motif with her clothing without actually giving her mummy wrapping.
She has no wraps, no legit wraps.
Yeah, but I mean her dress here kind of looks like wrap inspired. Like there's panels on there.
Yeah.
And then there's little strands and there's wrapping on her belt portion. So there's some motif of that there, and I don't know, maybe this is just the Photoshop and the way the photo is taken, but she almost looks like she has like goldish skin, like her legs. If you look at her legs, they're kind of like goldish.
It's possible that's just like spray tan or something.
I
have no idea, but to me too, the particular, which by the way, personally, I don't know who any of these actors are. I'm going to be very interested to see the portrayal of Cleo as a character, because just given my perception of Cleo, I don't know if I'm looking at this actress and seeing like the embodiment of Cleo as a character from her. But I think to form a fuller opinion on that, I'm going to have to actually see this movie. I do have to say the shoes with the buckles and stuff, that is very much like a Monster High thing. We've seen that on multiple Monster High shoes. So I appreciate, it's the big little things. So moving straight on to Heath. It's interesting that some of the choices for the characters, the major Monster High characters who are included in this or who are being featured versus like the ones that we're not seeing. But I would say this is a pretty straightforward Heath. This is another case where, I don't know if I have super strong opinions one way or another.
Has Heath always been that angry looking? Because the only
he does. He has the Heath usually has kind of like that like smirk, that stern kind of smirk.
There's only one Heath cartoon image that comes to mind, and he's like smiling and pointing.
His doll is pretty like smirky.
So maybe that's my perspective about my impression of him, because I wasn't really huge on the original cartoon, but I mean, sure.
Also, is that like an updated Monster High emblem on his jacket?
It looks like it.
Yeah, with an M and an H. Some slightly new version maybe of the Monster High emblem. Still has the skelet at the top, but the MH
are like blended together.
Newish. So I really hope this also means we get some of the Abby Abominable and Heath Burns interaction, because I feel like their dynamic was one of the funniest, cleverest relationships in Monster High. And so finally, we have a new character, Komos, the creature teacher. His name is spelled Komos. So, I mean, definitely I was expecting at least one or more, all new characters in this movie. Of course, I would encourage including that in a new iteration. But I don't know if this character looks interesting or unique enough to, like, merit, like, a spotlight feature as a new character. Mm-hmm. It literally looks like a dude, like a normie with horns. Like, for a new character, I would have hoped for, I don't know, just a more wow from the design, or how, like, or a unique, like, monster we haven't necessarily seen represented in the series. I mean, they've done a lot already, but yeah, I don't know.
Here's what he's supposed to be. Like, is he supposed to be a minotaur?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if, it's not clear. His description just says the creature teacher.
You know what? If they had to cut the budget somewhere but still have include characters, this is fine. Just throw them horns on a dude and call it a day. But he looks fine. I don't really know how else to say.
He looks fine. That was it for the image reveals for all the characters in the Monster High movie. I do have to say, overall, as a complete package, we are not the target demographic for this. So I have to be honest, I have not had an enormous investment in this from the get-go. I have not been like, I personally need to be really wowed by this live-action Monster High movie. I recognize it's not for me, and I don't know how much I will expect to enjoy it one way or another. Overall, it's a made-for-TV movie, and I do think, for the most part, that is what we seem to be getting, what you'd standardly expect. I was really a lot of heavy Descendants parallels.
Descendants, High School Musical, kind of, because this is a musical. They're going to be dancing and singing, which, again, not my cup of tea. Yeah. But if the songs are catchy and, I mean, there is a market for that, and definitely, time and time again, these type of movies do really well. And if, if this allows them to make more dolls, if this allows them to bring back Monster High in any capacity, then great. Yeah. It's great. It's a win-win situation.
Well, that's one of the top questions, though, too, which I don't know, maybe some of y'all are privy to this already, or there's rumors or speculation, I don't know. But I'm very curious, because we obviously know there are new Monster High dolls coming, but I'm curious if we're going to have a completely separate additional line of dolls based specifically off these live action versions of the characters.
There is a leaked image of Draculaura with this outfit.
With this look, yeah. So that's going to be very interesting too if they're released around kind of the same time, because then you have like the movie versions of these characters, and then the new, dolls in the animated series. I'm just curious. I'm like, are there going to be different sculpts for that? And, and obviously, and yes, we are well aware of leaks that have been going on, and we're not really going to talk about that much in this podcast, because there's just too much questionable, unverified information floating around. So we're not going to dive into that. Really, but new stuff are coming, and once this movie hits, or maybe even prior to this movie hitting, we're gonna start seeing merchandise for sure. So things are leaking, things are coming out. I'm sure by this point, when this goes out, maybe even the trailer might leak or come out, or dolls. I don't know, but I mean, I am all for give me Monster High. Yes, I'm really happy that Monster High is back. Just overall, I definitely have more of an investment in the dolls than I do in any sort of the movie or the animation. Because even the original animation, Sang and I didn't really watch that super religiously, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, some of the movies were fun, but the show, the web series itself was a little. Not our cup of tea. We were very invested in Ever After High, though.
Yes.
That was kind of our era.
Yeah.
But it seems like Mattel is really hitting all aspects of Monster High merchandising. They got the adult stuff for, like the Skullectors and the Haunt Couture.
Yeah. It seems like they want to address everything separately. They want to have their just adult focused releases with Skellactor and maybe even, you know, you could argue Boo Original, Cree Productions. And then they want to target, I think, you know, the much younger crowd separately with the live action movie and these new dolls.
And, you know, there's a market for it. I'm sure you guys have seen already the insanity that happened in Mexico when the repackaged reproductions of the Monster High core series came out. There was like a stampede. Honestly, it reminds me of Black Friday. It was just insanity. And even here in the United States, all our Walmarts were sold out of those dolls.
Yeah.
And you know, they should produce more. I mean, I don't know if they're losing money by producing those, because I think they're a reasonable price point, $25.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, they were $20 in the past, but we're talking about like a decade ago. But, they were great. I hope they come out with more. There's rumors of Cleo joining the gang. And maybe Ghoulia. I'm hoping...
poor Ghoulia.
Poor Ghoulia.
See, we didn't even mention Ghoulia. Yeah, they're honestly... Toy Chat alumni. Autumn would just be brokenhearted. Yeah. But yeah, they... Ghoulia just getting disrespected left and right. Sang and I were just talking earlier today that, you know, we're curious. I mean, maybe Ghoulia is just a character that just didn't test well past a certain point, or she just wasn't that popular, so they just don't want to focus on her anymore.
I mean, I just think it's kind of a missed opportunity to have a character who is...
like a nonverbal character.
Yeah. I mean, I think Monster High has always been about representation. And, you know, the nonverbal character, you know, there's people that would relate to that. And I think that's a missed opportunity. And I think Ghoulia is a great character. You know, she's both a great friend and smart. And I love her little romance with...
Slow-mo.
Slow-mo, yes.
I know. Yeah. It was very... Yeah, I think Ghoulia was a great character. Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, granted, we don't know for sure whether or not she's going to appear in this movie. She might. Or in, you know, future dolls. We don't know. We just know she's, you know... She's definitely been deprioritized ever since the original reboot. So, yeah, I'm curious how you guys feel about that. I know there's other rumors and speculation of what we might see. I think someone showed like a freeze frame from one of the moments in the trailer that they're saying kind of looks like Abby, like an ice girl or something like that. So maybe Abby will be in the movie. Going to be curious to see which characters are included and who isn't. You know, another long missing character, Spectra. You know, I wonder if Spectra is still totally done. I mean, they should have a ghost girl, such a classic, you know, monster to have. But
Claude's not missing.
I know Claude. Yeah, I'm really curious about Claude too. If Claudeen's gonna have, because she has like a huge family. You know, so I'm curious if her family is gonna show up.
I mean, granted, this is the first movie. If it does really well, I'm sure they'll bring in even more characters.
I'm gonna be very curious to see how well this does. Like the success of it overall. You know, really curious. But. So we have another side of things to discuss just in the world of Barbie. I mean, a lot less to go off of. We have much more limited information on the Barbie movie. There has been quite a history with the Barbie movie. There were whispers of it happening, I think like years ago initially, like a long time ago. This movie was, you know, in the works, and then at a certain point, Amy Schumer was involved, and she was supposed to be playing, you know, Barbie, and it was supposed to be a much more satirical, comedic approach on the character and the brand, and then she bowed out of the project. And at this point, the Barbie movie that we are now getting stars Margot Robbie as Barbie, and it's directed by Greta Gerwig, who also directed critically acclaimed films such as Lady Bird and Little Women. And I know some of the really early buzz about this story and this script is super positive because Simu Liu, Shang-Chi actor, has also been brought onto the project. And I had heard that he said yes to the role, allegedly, specifically because, you know, his agent or someone said it was like the best script they've ever read, quote unquote. And Greta Gerwig is very talented. So I'm very curious the direction they're going to take this. We'll kind of start off with, so the initial image of Margot Robbie as Barbie, they revealed quite a while ago, like I think some like months ago. And the Barbie movie is supposed to come out July 21st, 2023. So we are not getting it this year. We're getting it next year. I think with a brand like Barbie, there is this side of the fandom that really wants the classic vintage blonde bombshell aesthetic of Barbie. And and there's another side, of course, that has, very opposite opinion. It's like Barbie as a brand over time needed to evolve and become much more diverse and introduce more characters of color and dolls of color. The rumor, as a preface, the rumor that I keep hearing is that there is going to be more than one Barbie and more than one Ken in this movie, allegedly. Yeah. But it seems, I don't know if Margot Robbie is playing quote unquote like the main Barbie, or if there even is quote a main Barbie. We don't know enough about the film yet. But I think the first picture they revealed of her is very cute. I think it's very classic Barbie. I personally think, just in terms of knee-jerk reaction, and when you think of vintage Barbie, I can totally see Margot Robbie pulling it off very well. I do think it's really cute, the bracelet she's wearing. Her bracelet, just the size and scale of it, I think is cute, is a very similar scale to the actual like Barbie doll bracelets. Yeah. So it's kind of cute. And she's in, a car that looks like Barbie would be driving. A lot of pink.
And it's definitely kind of like the Barbie mobile, because it's,
convertible.
Convertible.
It's
convertible. When you're playing with Barbie, you'll be able to put her in and out really easily. So there's a lot of like accurate things to it, and I think Margot Robbie is kind of where your mind goes towards when you think of like the classic blonde, blue-eyed Barbie.
And the really interesting thing is, I feel like Mattel was kind of like dipping its toe into what it was showing the public with the Margot Robbie image, because the Margot Robbie image was cute, safe, classic Barbie. But more recently, they revealed the first image of Ken, and Ryan Gosling is confirmed to be playing Ken in the Barbie movie. And this image is much bolder than the image of Barbie, because this is a very camp, sexualized spin on like the stereotype of Ken, which to me sends a message that I feel like this is going to be a very self-aware Barbie film, in terms of kind of addressing the brand's history / criticism / satire. I'm here for that, honestly. That is really what I would want from a Barbie movie in this day and age. I think the bleach blonde hair and his little denim, and he's wearing underwear that says, obviously it's a spoof on Calvin Klein, it says Ken. And I mean, Ryan Gosling looks great. I think I could imagine him playing an amazing Ken. I have been hearing a lot of people saying that they think Ryan Gosling is too old to play Ken.
Not in Hollywood. Men don't age.
That's true.
And I heard those. I think, I haven't seen enough of Ryan Gosling, but I loved him I think his comedic timing is great. I think him in SNL, and
he's a great actor. He's very funny.
What was that film?
We loved him in La La Land, obviously.
Yes. Okay, after checking, it's Crazy Stupid Love is the movie thinking of. And I thought Ryan Gosling, his comedic timing, that was great. Yeah,
he's very funny. He's very memeable, and he looks great. I think this is a great combination of sexy, funny, ironic, self-aware. It's a lot of things that I would want. I think in terms of folks saying like, oh, is he too old to play Ken or whatever, honestly, some of the conversation in this direction has leaned in too much of an ageist realm for my taste. I think you can absolutely be a sexy Ken at 41 years old, and I know there is some controversy over the fact that there is a 10-year age difference between Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling himself, but I don't feel like, aesthetically speaking, or just how this is all presented, I don't personally find that to be an issue. So, me personally, I mean, I always feel like the age of Barbie as a character has always been super ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I know maybe in the animated, series of her on YouTube, I don't know. I personally don't follow along with that, but it's kind of like probably implied that she's either maybe in her early 20s or I don't know,
high school
or something, or maybe a teenager or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. I mean, to me, when I see a lot of Barbie dolls, even when I was younger, I tend to, I mean, minus of course the really young characters like Skipper and, but I tend to see adults in a lot of these dolls. So I don't have any issues.
That's the thing, is Barbie means different things to different people.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, again, I don't think people should get too invested in being concerned that, oh, they're just going to have the stereotypical, like, white, blonde, like, actors playing these roles. At least the impression we have, again, is that, and there's a lot of folks who are confirmed to be on this project. Again, Simu Liu. Simu Liu might be playing another Ken.
Mm-hmm.
So
America Ferrera, isn't it?
America Ferrera. Yeah, so it seems like
Kate
McKinnon.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, apparently, so we just learned Sharon Rooney is going to be in this film, and we watched and loved My Mad Fat Diary.
Oh my god, Chris Evans' brother's gonna be in here. Scott Evans.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people. Issa Rae is gonna be in it. So yeah, as a whole,
half the cast of Sex Education is gonna be in here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I watched that.
Interesting.
Max didn't watch it.
No, I did not watch it.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like there's a lot of potential to this film. I think the original Amy Schumer version, I envisioned it as kind of like,
very much like it's like a spoof.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
Like I would imagine it kind of falls in line with the plot of like the House Bunny, where like she aged out of like the
Barbieville. And well, there was literally a summary of the original plot was like released to the public, and that was pretty much what was stated.
Yeah, and this version, it kind of reminds me of like all the little scenes from Toy Story with Barbie.
I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think I like that because I think this approach isn't going to be quite as spoofy, but it's definitely not going to take itself completely seriously. Yeah. So I'm actually, honestly, I'm pretty intrigued by this movie.
And we just have a year and 1 month to wait because it does not come out until July 21st. 2023.
Yes. Yeah, so we've got quite a wait. But I mean, they've got some great, talented actors and a great director on board. And again, if this is going to be as self-aware and funny as it seems like it will be from these teasers, it might be great. Yeah. So, I definitely, I hope it delivers. I definitely plan to see it. If you guys want us to have, we haven't done very many film reviews on this channel. Sang and I are actually quite the movie buffs. But we, if you guys want us to review more doll and toy property related movies, if you guys want to see us review more stuff like that on our channel, let us know. But that pretty much concludes our conversation of first impressions of Mattel's live action films coming up. Definitely let us know what you guys are most excited for. Are you planning on watching Monster High movie, Barbie movie? What do you think about the casting and reveals so far? We're definitely curious to hear your thoughts. So, thank you for joining us for another episode of our Collector's Corner podcast. Let us know which topics you might want us to cover in the next episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.